Hey everybody, we're glad to have you here today. Today we're going to discuss solar panels and batteries and see if it's right for you and whether or not it is a great thing to have. We know there's a lot of confusion in the market as to how things are done, whether or not they're worth it, and there's a lot of misinformation out there. And what we're going to do here today is try to clear some of this up and try to help you along this journey. We're also going to talk about the solar EV credits, how that affects the panels. You've got to get that in before the end of the year. Otherwise, you're going to lose out on a lot of money. So stay tuned, stick around. Don't forget to look in the comments below to see how you can get some great discount on Tesla products. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you back in just a moment. I'm REDFIRE. It's my boy Tone Love.
What's going on?
We're here to help demystify these glorious panels and all the things that they can do, and help you to figure out whether or not you should get them, because quite frankly, they can either be a boon to your existence or a bane. It just depends on your personal circumstance. So let's go ahead and start out. You have the normal, what they call photovoltaic panels, PV panels for short. Those are the actual panels that go typically on your rooftop, and they convert the sunlight. They go through what's known as an inverter. The panels are basically DC power. The inverter turns that into AC power to be used by your home. Now that's going to become a little bit more important a little bit later, but in general, that's what goes on. Now, the number of solar panels on your home dictates how much power can be generated from the sun, and therefore be put through the inverter and then be put through to your home. If you don't have enough panels, then, well, you're not going to be able to supply enough power to your house. If you have too many panels, then you're going to have an oversupply of power, in which case you may just be wasting the power, sending it back to the grid, and depending on the circumstances, you may or may not see any return on that investment. So the question becomes, how much do these things cost? And in general, you can look to spend between $2.30 and $2.90 per watt of power generation for the panels. Typically, the panels are sold in kilowatt units, so it would take 1,000 watts to equal 1 kilowatt. So if you have a 5 kilowatt panel, you're talking 5,000 watts. Therefore, you've got to take 5,000 times $2.80, and that gives you about $12,000, somewhere in that neighborhood. Rough math, don't hold me to it. But that's a rough estimate for the panels. The second part of this, that's actually really important, are the battery storage. Now, this is something different from what was done even just a few years ago. Not very many people had it, but because the price of batteries have come down over time, this has actually become an integral part of the system, which can actually save you a lot of money on the back end. It's a pretty good upfront cost, and these batteries can cost anywhere from between $6,000 to $10,000 a piece.
Wow.
And the batteries that I'm referring to that I know are about $6,000, $7,000 a piece, or 13.5 kilowatt batteries. So that's how much storage. I know I'm talking a lot of foreign terms here. You'll get to know it pretty quickly. Just hang with me here, and we're going to discuss all that right now.
Absolutely. So my thing is, for the lay person, first off, there's a portion of America who rents. So for someone who rents, this solar panel conversation is pretty much null and void at this point?
Pretty much, yeah. Because you need permission to put the solar panels on your roof. And if you don't own the place, then that's not going to happen. Also, along with that, I would put townhomes in that scenario. Townhomes, that's going to be very difficult as well. Also, the folks that live in homeowners associations, even if you have a single family home, you've got to get approval from them. There's no real way to circumvent it, because I can guarantee you the city's going to be demanding proof from the homeowners association that you cleared it through them and you've gone through your bylaws to get that accomplished. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. So you could spend all this money trying to get this solar panel stuff and, and the batteries, and your homeowner association could say, no, actually, you can't put those up there.
Correct. Many homeowners associations are a lot more liberal than others, and some don't want to see anything on top of the roof whatsoever. Others only want you to be able to put it on the back side of the home. Others say, okay, you can't have it on top of your carport. It's all
over the place.
It's all over the place.
Varies. Okay.
It varies, and I'll tell you my personal situation. I had to get it cleared through my homeowners association, and they asked for all these documents. I sent them the documents, but quite frankly, they just stopped responding at a certain point.
Wow.
Which would normally be a problem, but there's a clause in the bylaws that basically said, hey, after the initial request, they have 90 days to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and if they don't say anything, then it's automatically approved. Well,
Gotcha.
I gotcha. So
It was automatically approved.
it was automatically
You just
approved.
stay quiet.
They stayed quiet.
And you
I responded to every request.
Right.
Then they just went silent, and well, that's on them. So
Yeah.
that's how I got my
See.
solar panels.
Now that you have your solar panels, and let's just say you decided you wanted more, to kind of get into that tax rebate again. Can you do it twice, by the way? Can you do
Yes.
the tax rebate? So let's just say you got more solar panels. Would you have to go through that same process with them, or is it already approved?
I would need to consult an attorney for that because technically it's a design change. So it's not the original designs that you would have submitted to the HOA.
Okay.
And they could have a basis for saying, hey, well, that's not what we approved. But if it's going on the back side of the house and you already have solar panels all around the house, then, I mean, really,
Yeah.
good luck winning that one in court. So that's the reality of the situation. So solar panels aren't for everybody. They're not going to go into every situation. So before you get started, as I said, be sure to check your HOA bylaws. I know most folks don't even know where to find them, but you will save yourself a lot of heartache and pain if you just go ahead and call up your HOA president and say, hey, what's the deal here? What's the process? And get a copy of those bylaws and read them.
Absolutely.
So having said that, let's assume you have approval, you get the approval from the HOA, and you say, okay, are these solar panels right for me? Step 2, I would absolutely pull your electric bills for the last 18 months. You notice I didn't say 12.
No,
I said
18.
18. Pull your electric bills from the last 18 months. Find out what is your average usage in kilowatt hours per month. So we're talking kilowatts here. Once again, a kilowatt is nothing more than 1,000 watts.
Right.
And 1,000 watts, you know, you're familiar with watts, you know, like a 100-watt light bulb.
Right.
So imagine you took 10 100-watt light bulbs, lined them up in a row here, you turned them all on.
For an hour.
For an hour, correct. That would be 1 kilowatt hour.
Right.
Because you have 1 kilowatt worth of energy going here. You leave it on for an hour, that's 1 kilowatt hour.
Correct.
So differentiate the difference between kilowatt and kilowatt hour, okay? Because we're going to be going back and forth with those terms. Get all of your electric bills for the last 18 months, gather them up, add up the total amount of kilowatt hours that you've used, divide that by the number of months that you have pulled, come out with an average kilowatt hour usage per month. And let's just say, just for yucks, that's 1,000 kilowatt hours, let's say.
Per month.
Per month, okay? Keep in mind, a 10 kilowatt system is not going to produce 10 kilowatts of power. It's just not, because it's also highly dependent on your location. So somebody that's located in Michigan, let's say, is going to be vastly different from somebody that's located in, say, Arizona.
Right. Where there's more sun.
Correct. Same panels, depends on orientation. You're going to get different efficiencies off of that panel because of that.
Absolutely.
So to assume, hey, I bought a 10 kilowatt panel, I'm going to get 10 kilowatts of generation? No. Also, what's dependent upon that is the way that your house faces and the trees that are in your neighborhood. So if your house has a lot of trees around it, you might want to think about cutting those back, or you may not be able to get the panels. as much as you may want to, the solar panels won't generate sunlight through trees.
Right, right.
They won't be able to generate power through the trees.
Or if you're in a very, where it's like really cloudy, like say, like I'm from Rochester, New York, and we have Lake Ontario there, so we get a lot of lake effect snow, you know, we get a lot of clouds. Seattle, Washington, same kind of thing, maybe Chicago. Those are going to have, because of the coverage of rainy or cloudy days versus regular days, right?
Correct. And just like you said, snow, dirt, dust getting on the panels, that could absolutely affect the efficiency of the panels as well. So
right.
that's a very good point. So keep these things in mind as you go through the evaluation of your system. And that's why it's so hard to find information on this, is because, quite frankly, every situation is unique.
Different. It's unique, yeah.
It's very unique. Mm-hmm. So you can say, okay, I'm buying a 10 kilowatt system, but I'm not getting 10 kilowatts. Truth be told, in reality, you may only get 50 to 80% of that. So you're talking maybe generating between 5 and 8 kilowatts on a regular on the panels. Your solar panel advisor will absolutely help out with this because they will be more familiar with your region and be able to show you exactly how much power in your region for your particular address that you will be able to generate. And they've got tools online to do this as well. Some of the AI systems like Grok and Gemini can help you calculate this, believe it or not.
And ChatGPT.
I'm not going that far. He's cool, but I don't know if he's that cool.
ChatGPT on what? Don't be hating on OpenAI.
I'm not hating on him, but just saying. So depending on where you're located, the solar generation could be an issue. It really could. Mm-hmm. Now, once you get past that portion, now that you understand how much power can be generated, now you got to calculate how many hours per day it can generate that kind of power.
Okay.
And once again, you've got a lot of technical tools online, and I'm not going to say ChatGPT. Many of the AI systems are able to help you out by plugging in your address and plugging in your solar panel and saying, hey, you know what, how much solar power generation could I expect from this type of a system? They can actually help you out to tell you how many kilowatt hours you're able to produce in a day. And quite frankly, it goes, normally, we're here in Georgia. Most of my power generation time comes between about 8 in the morning and 6 in the afternoon. And it obviously, there's a nice gradual curve where it start going up, and then it peaks out at around 2 o'clock, between 1 and 3 in the middle of the daytime. That's what it peaks out at. And usually that's peaking out, even though I have a 15 kilowatt system, it peaks out somewhere in a neighborhood of around 11 or 12 usually. I've not seen 15 yet. Okay. Has not happened.
Can you buy the panels without the batteries?
Yes, you can. We'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
But you put the panels all over your house, and what they do, they put the panels in such an orientation where it's going to get the most sunlight throughout the day for the bulk of the year, primarily the winter season, because that's when the sun is the lowest point in the sky. So typically that means your panels are going to be on the south-facing side of your house. If you don't know which side is south, grab a compass or grab your phone with a compass program on there, figure out which side is south, right. And if that's the one covered with trees, you may not be a good candidate. Or if you're not getting a lot of sunlight. If, however, you have a lot of sunlight on your southern part of your roof, then you're going to be a pretty good candidate for it. On the east and west sides, yeah, you're going to get a lot of sun from that side in general, but it's very brief. That's usually in the morning and the afternoon. The ones on the south side are going to get it all throughout the day. So that's where they try to put the bulk of the panels at. Okay. The ones that go on the north side, they're going to get the least amount of sun. So you're going to put the smallest number of panels on the north-facing side, on the north-facing roof, if you can, and you try to put as many as you can on the other side. So all of these little factors tend to add up into how much power generation capability you actually have. Even my next door neighbors, because their roofs point the other direction, they may not be able to generate as much power as I do. Now, so what the AI systems and what your solar advisor is able to do, he's able to tell you about how much power you're able to generate per day, and you can multiply it and figure out how much power generation you could have per month. Right. And because of this, now that you know how much your panels can generate, and you can see how much you average every month, now you can start making some competent decisions now,
Right.
okay? You can start figuring out, okay, well, how big of a system do I need? Because as you can see, these solar panels cost a lot of money, okay?
It's a big investment.
It's a very large investment.
Yeah.
And the difference between a 5 kilowatt system and a 10 kilowatt system is significant. And even that between a 15 kilowatt system, very significant. So you want to be able to get it right. And these are some of the tools that you can utilize to help you get it right.
I have a question though. So let's just say you get these panels, you sink 60K into these panels and batteries, which you'll talk about later, you said. And then there's a hurricane, or some sort of natural disaster. How does your insurance affect you in terms of the cost of homeowners insurance and things like that with these panels?
Provided they know about it, it can be different from policy to policy. Most of the time they'll cover that. Most of the time. I do know some that do not. And in the case of a hurricane, well, insurance companies are flaky to begin with. So, no, that wasn't wind damage. That was water damage on your roof. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Whichever. Are you going to cover it or not?
They don't cover water damage typically.
Wow. Wow.
A lot of people don't know that. So the damage on the solar panels may be covered if they know about it and it's part of the home. So absolutely. Coincidentally enough, if you have solar panels during a hurricane, you usually don't have power. Solar panels will pick that up, and that's where we get into the whole battery situation at.
Yes.
Now, the battery situation is twofold, okay? Number one, batteries are utilized for, backup power in general. That's typically what they're used for. But they have a side benefit as well. The second half of this equation is that the batteries can be used for when the solar panels are not working, AKA nighttime.
Nighttime, right.
Or if you're getting a really cloudy day, there's not enough power generation, and you need to utilize your batteries to keep the home powered. The batteries are an excellent way to go. Now, if you don't already know this, if you don't already have an EV like I do, then here's some news for you. In most cases, most power companies around the company give you a choice of electrical plans to be on.
Right, right.
The most popular one, only because it's the default plan that everybody goes on, is the residential plan.
Standard residential flat rate type deal.
Flat rate, one rate most of the year. I'm not going to get too far into that.
Right.
But it's basically one flat rate. And you know what? I don't blame folks if they don't know how much they're getting charged.
Well, the bill, like Georgia Power, they don't necessarily give you the details to the nitty gritty. They kind of give you an estimate, roundabout, just kind of, they don't really break it down,
When it comes to figuring out your bill, Georgia Power is a mess.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm absolutely convinced it is an intentional mess. Because if you ever looked at your power bill, I'm speaking specifically towards Georgia Power.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. But it's the God honest truth.
Yeah.
If you actually look at your Georgia Power bill, it is impossible for you to figure out how much you're actually paying per kilowatt hour.
I know.
Go look at your bill. If you're from Georgia, go look at your bill.
Yep.
It's
In fact,
impossible.
there's actually another impossibility. It is impossible to get in touch with a human being in customer service with Georgia Power. So there's that too.
I've had to wait.
Yeah.
It's happened a couple times.
Recently.
Happened.
Within the last 2 years.
It's happened, but I'm not going to say it wasn't without its trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
But why do they not just put the simple base rate on your plan? I don't know, but they don't do this. I've seen other power companies do it. So there are some power companies out there that do it. In the case of Georgia Power, they absolutely don't do it. And in fact, to try to figure out exactly how much you're paying per kilowatt hour, you've got some serious mathematics to do. You've got to go into at least 3 or 4 different tariff sheets, do calculations, and then it's based on percentage of power used, and then it's per.
It's a mess.
It's a hot mess.
Don't they have also time of day on the standard residential?
No,
It's a
not
flat
on the
rate.
standard residential.
It's a flat rate all the way around, even at nighttime, which could be expensive.
Yes, but Yeah, so in the case of Georgia Power, once you add in all of the tariffs and all the taxes, and even then, after I've done all the math, this is still an estimate. I'm within a penny or two, though. I guarantee I'm within a penny or two. It's 18 cents per kilowatt hour. I'm sorry, 17 cents per kilowatt hour.
Right.
I just misspoke. It's 17 cents per kilowatt hour.
17 cents per kilowatt hour in this month period, because it does change within seasons.
Correct. It is seasonal. I'm strictly speaking outside the months of June, July, August, September. Because in the months of June, July, August, September, it goes to a different tiered schedule.
Right.
And a lot of other power companies around the nation do pretty much the same
Similar.
thing.
Yeah, it's very
the
similar.
rates may be slightly different, but in general, they do the exact same thing. But right now, I'm kind of sticking with outside of summer right now because I'll get back to that later.
Okay.
So in general, you may be paying let's just say 17 cents. Let's use Georgia Power numbers. 17 cents per kilowatt hour. I know my friends in California are paying a lot more, but
Sorry.
The 17 cents per kilowatt hour, let's just say that's what you're paying. Well, a lot of folks don't even realize that they have a choice to go on what's known as a time of use plan.
Right.
Or is it's known in other systems, EV plan.
Yes.
And the reason why they have this EV plan is specifically for people that own EV cars, so that you can charge your vehicles. Because quite frankly, by far, the single most power-hungry device in your home will be your EV, okay? I can almost promise you it's going to eat up more power in the month than your whole house, just one of them, okay?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're driving on a routine, regular basis, not for the people that keep their car at home most days. I'm talking for the people that actually drive.
Right, not remote workers, but people who drive into work.
Right,
course,
exactly. Those folks, I guarantee you, their electrical bill on that car is at least as much as the house every month.
So it doubles. Well, that's on the flat rate plan.
On the flat rate,
Right.
on the flat rate plan, it will double.
Right.
Okay. So they have what's known as these time of use plans. And what this does is they reward you for utilizing electricity in off-peak periods. So instead of paying 17 cents per kilowatt hour flat, now they're going to say, okay, we're going to charge you 18 cents, which is actually 1 penny more, 18 cents per kilowatt hour from the time of 7 in the morning to 11 p.m. at night. But after 11 p.m. at night, that now goes to 9 cents per kilowatt hour. Effectively gets chopped almost in half.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And as a matter of fact, Georgia Power, I think they call that the time period from like 12 a.m. to
Super off-peak.
Yeah, super off-peak, yeah.
Yeah, they have 7 to 11 is known as off-peak, and then they have super off-peak from 11 to 7 in the morning.
Right.
That's the way it works. And a lot of power companies are going to have this option, unless it's some of the smaller ones I've noticed that do not, but
The marketers.
yeah.
Yeah, the marketers, yeah.
Yeah. So there's going to be some form of that usually available to most folks. And so what would happen is people would charge their cars at night. After 11 p.m., you plug in your car, you set it to charge, and now opposed to paying 17 or 18 cents per kilowatt hour, and opposed to paying, say, 24 or 25 cents at a supercharger per kilowatt hour, you're now paying 9 cents per kilowatt hour, somewhere in that neighborhood. Yeah. Which is much nicer.
Well, what's also nice is that you could not have an EV, use that same plan, that time of use plan, and then do all of your larger appliances like your washing, your drying, your dishwasher, run those overnight as well, right?
That's absolutely correct. So for those that don't know, you don't have to have an EV to be on this plan. You don't have to go out and buy an EV to be on this time of use plan. All you have to do is call up your electric company, if you can get a hold of them, and submit the request and put in the request to swap over to the time of use plan. No big deal. Just know that you're going to pay a little bit more during the off-peak period of 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. And then if you are able to shift all of your electrical loads to after 11 p.m., you will see a very significant decrease in your electrical bill. Now, I will issue a word of caution. It's like, well, all of this sounds too good to be true. What's the catch? Well, here's the catch. During the summertime, those summer months, from June through September, you have now what's, in addition to those time periods, you have what's known as on-peak period.
Right.
The on-peak period is from 2 p.m. in the afternoon to 7 p.m. at night.
Yep.
If you use any power within that little time frame, you're getting jacked.
Yeah, it's like 29 cents a kilowatt hour or something.
42.
Oh. So be careful. That's the catch.
That's where they shank you.
Yes, they're shanky. Yeah, that's the catch.
Okay, because that's the most used time.
It's the most in demand.
It's the most in demand time for power, and so they're trying to disincentivize you from using power during that period, which works quite well. But you go, well, you know what? I'm coming home. I got to make dinner. I can't wait until 7 p.m. to start cooking. I can't do all of this. Da 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 da. Fair. So you either prepare your meals at night or wait until later to do that. But there's another option, okay? Actually, let me back up. On the flat rate plan, it's not all, sunshine and rainbows either, okay? Because instead of you paying that 17-cent flat rate even during the summer, what usually happens is that they put you on some sort of a tiered plan. Right. So for instance, it may be 17 cents from 0 kilowatt hours to 650. But then when you pass 650 kilowatt hours, it may go to 18, 19 cents.
Right.
And then once you pass 1,000 kilowatt hours, now it's going up to 20 something cents. And it has a few different tiers that it's going to climb there. So the more power you use throughout the month, no matter what time you use it.
Right. The more expensive.
And that's why during the summertime, it's not your imagination. During the summertime, you may think you might be using double the power that you would be using during the winter.
No.
You may be using the power, but you're noticing your bill's going up like 3-4 times.
Right. They're charging you more, even though it's a flat rate plan. It's a flat rate with tiered usage.
Correct. And that occurs in the summer months.
Yeah. Very tricky. Very tricky.
Correct. And so it's not your imagination. You're watching your electric bill go up because of that.
Right.
So on the time of use plan, as we said, there's an on-peak period from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. So your whole point in life at that point is to avoid that time period. That is your goal in life.
Right.
Enter the batteries. Okay?
Okay.
The batteries for the solar, that goes with the solar panels. You don't have to have solar panels to do the batteries. It's just usually recommended to do both at the same time. But you don't have to have it because you can do this with just the batteries. Keep that in mind. If you were to buy just the batteries, you can have the batteries charge from the grid.
Overnight.
Right. So now, when the rates were at 9 cents per kilowatt hour, you charge up your batteries. Then as the day goes on and you're entering that 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. on-peak period, you let the batteries power the house. And if your batteries are big enough, you have enough batteries, it'll carry you all the way through that time period.
Wow. So in other words, you never have to use power company for the most part because you'll only be using them from, like you said, the super off-peak overnight. And then during the day, instead of using their power company's expensive rate, you're using the power from your batteries that you accumulated overnight during 2 p.m. From the super peak, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Correct, and that's what we call power arbitrage.
Arbitrage, look at that. That's a fancy word. Say arbitrage. I'm gonna start using that. What's it mean?
It means we're taking power in the off-peak period, and we're basically trading that power at a certain time period. And so we put it into our batteries, store that power to be used later. And so now you're not getting hit with those big old bills. It seems like a cheat code for the system.
It is.
It's legal, it works, and you can do it. And the power company, actually, believe it or not, they encourage this, believe it or not. And the reason why they encourage this is because if you're going off your battery power, you're not utilizing grid power, and they can use that grid power for somebody else.
They can cheat someone else.
Yeah, well, there you go. So this routine is actually encouraged, provided you put out the money for the batteries. And as I said, they could be like $6,000 a piece.
Wow.
Or a little bit more, depending on who you get them from.
Well, your HOA doesn't have to work. You can do your battery without the HOA, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Because, well, let me rephrase that. If they're not depending on your HOA, and in my experience, most HOAs, if you put it in your backyard or in your garage or someplace where it's not seen from the outside, they usually don't say anything or have any purview over that. And that's the case with the batteries. They can go in your garage. I have them in my house underneath a breezeway in my backyard. There's several different places where you can put them. But if you wind up having to put them outside of your garage on the side, they may or may not have a little bit of a problem with it. It just depends. So in most cases, it's not a problem. I doubt you got to get HOA approval for it, but that's the lay of the land. So the idea is that you really want to be able to use those batteries to arbitrage your power, to gain power during the super off-peak period. So combine the batteries with the solar panels, and here's what you get. During the evening time, your batteries will still charge in the super off-peak period, giving you that really low rate. But guess what? In the morning time, the solar panels start to take over. Somewhere around 8 o'clock in the morning, they start coming alive. 7:30 in the morning, they start coming alive. And then right around 10 or 11, they're really starting to put out at this point, especially if you have a nice sunny day outside. And whatever did not charge with the batteries, because you can have them cut off, stop charging at 7 a.m. They're going to stop charging. So you may be running on battery power from 7 to 8 o'clock. And whatever the solar panels don't pick up, the batteries will. And as you go throughout the day, as the sun comes out more and more, the solar panels are able to produce more and more power, and therefore you're not using hardly any power in the midpoint of the day. Well, the question becomes, well, okay, what if it's cloudy outside, or if we have rain and all that? Well, guess what? You're probably not burning nearly as much power, keeping the house warm or cold and all of this.
Right.
So your power usage actually goes down.
Wow.
Even though your solar production goes down, your overall power usage, in all likelihood, goes down right along with it. So it kind of sort of evens out. And also the batteries will have enough juice in them to kind of carry you through. You can still do your cooking in the afternoon if you really want to.
Wow.
So you don't really have to change your lifestyle if you have the batteries.
Okay.
Now, combine this with the EVs. Okay. Remember, I told you that EV sucks down some power.
Right.
If you have nice sunshiny days, you have an abundance of power. And in my scenario, I have too much power, so some of my power happens to leak back to the grid. In the case of Georgia Power,
you don't make any money from that. Because the power, I thought they said that when you generate enough power, at least in some countries or something, I heard when you generate enough power, you have enough power to sell back to the power company. But in the case of Georgia Power, you're saying what? They don't buy it back, you just give it for free?
it's a little bit more complicated than that.
Okay.
Okay, in many places around the country, and I understand we're talking to a very wide audience, and we're talking about the U.S. specifically here. Mm-hmm. It varies from state to state, truth be told, and from power company to power company in a lot of cases. California used to have a very liberal buyback. So what would happen is that any excess power that you generated, the power company would buy that power back from you. And a lot of times they will give you a credit on your bill so that if you were to use power during the nighttime, they would just put that against your balance. They just charge your balance. And so everything kind of equaled out. And that's kind of the way they did. My understanding is, and you put it in the comments below, folks, for my friends in California, they changed that quite a bit, actually, to the point they're paying you at a much lower rate, to the point it's almost not worth it. Let me know if I'm mistaken on that one, folks. I know some folks are grandfathered in, but some other people are having issues. In the case of Georgia Power, we have a much different situation. They do compensate you at the same rate as the super off-peak period. Okay.
Okay. So it's 8 or 9 cents a kilowatt hour.
Correct. They do, provided, and here's the big caveat, folks, provided you do not have the capability of producing more than 10 kilowatts. So if your system is larger than 10 kilowatts,
zero. You get nothing.
You get nothing.
In your case, you're at 15.
I'm at 15.
Which means you get nothing.
Correct. If I produce anything extra, I give the power back to Georgia Power and say, hey, here's all this energy. It's for free.
Well, that's That sucks. So, Georgia Power don't answer the phone for customer service. They don't provide you details on your bill, and they don't pay you for electricity that you give them for free.
Correct.
Right. Thanks, Georgia Power. We appreciate you.
That's how Georgia Power operates. So that's the state of things right now. That's changing, okay? Mm-hmm. That is changing, but as of right now, that's where they're at. And a very special note here, if you happen to have a Tesla system, in particular, a Tesla solar panel system.
Okay, how about the batteries? Can it be any battery?
The power walls?
Yeah, so you got the Tesla solar panels, but
yes.
As far as, can you have a different brand of battery? Or?
In theory, yes.
Okay.
I've not tried it. I wouldn't want to try it because then you're talking two different systems and everything's not integrated into the app properly. And so it's just too much of a pain. And quite frankly, I'm not selling Tesla solar here. I'm really not, but I believe they have some of the cheapest systems on the market. When it comes to the batteries, they absolutely have the cheapest batteries for this purpose on the market right now.
Okay.
Their solar panels are pretty darn close as well. I'll revisit that in a little bit. But what I was going to say is that if you happen to have a Tesla system, remember that inverter I told you about earlier?
Yeah.
The panels produce power, DC power, and you need that inverter to change it over to AC power. That inverter is an 11.5 kilowatt inverter. The way Georgia Power looks at it, they go, oh, well, you're capable of producing 11.5 kilowatts.
Right. Automatically, you're out.
Automatic out. It's like, yeah, but my system doesn't put that up. Well, yeah, well, it doesn't matter.
You're rated for that.
You're rated for that.
Yeah.
That's seriously how they do it. So it's possible if you order a Tesla system, you're kicked out of the what they call the R&R program. That's the program they use for the buyback of power. And oh, by the way, there's another caveat to that program as well, the R&R program, or the instantaneous netting, whatever you want to call it. The other caveat is they can only buy so many kilowatt hours per year, and once they've had enough customers give enough power back, you're cut off.
Wow. Until next year.
Until next year.
As in next calendar year, as in January 1st, or to next year, as in 12 months from the last time you gave them power?
I believe it's the calendar year, fiscal year for Georgia Power.
For Georgia Power, okay.
Exactly.
Thanks, Southern Company.
Can't make these rules up. This is what happens when you're in a state that's not exactly friendly to alternative energy. Okay?
Right, that's true. Yeah.
That's
the thing.
That's the lay of the land, folks. And this is one of the reasons why it's so confusing out here. So we're starting to clear some of this up. So the question becomes, well, okay, if I can't really sell it back and I'm producing all this power, is it worth it? The short answer is, in most cases, yes. If you are in an area that has high power rates, especially California, Georgia, somewhat, it is absolutely worth it. But when you start introducing EVs into the mix, things get very interesting very quickly. Because as I said, they consume more power than your home, okay? And because they consume more power than your home, they are singularly going to have more of an effect on your electrical bill more than anything else, whether or not you decide to charge at home or you take it to a supercharger, whatever you happen to do. They're going to consume power. Now, if we have solar panels, and this is what I've started to do, quite frankly. When the sun comes up in the morning and my batteries are already charged, in that time period where I see the sun is producing enough power, if my solar panels are, for me, it's right around 3.5 kilowatts. Okay. If my panels are producing 3.5 kilowatts, because I've done the math, I've done the math at 3.5 kilowatts, I'm basically break even with the super off-peak period at that point, at my rates, okay? If I'm generating that, then I know I can start charging my EV. I will charge it at a very slow rate. With the Teslas, you can dial the rates down to 30 amps, and I dial mine down to 30 amps. Typically it's at 48, the other one may be at 40 amps, but I dial it down to 30 amps, and the idea is I'm drawing it down to 7 kilowatt draw on the car. So you do whatever you have to do to get it down to 7 kilowatts. So what happens is 3.5 is coming from the solar panels into the house. If the house is drawing 3.5, that means I'm only drawing 7 kilowatts at that point.
Right.
My batteries are probably going to pick that up. Depending on how it's set up, the batteries can pick it up. If it's during the on-peak periods, it will definitely pick it up. But chances are my solar panels are going to increase more than that.
Yeah.
And it's going to go beyond 8, 9, 10, 11 kilowatts. And what winds up happening is the car starts charging straight from the solar panels.
Right, directly from the solar panel to the vehicle.
Yep, and I just keep my energy usage low during that period. Now, I have it charging at 30 amps, which is much slower. I have it that low because I'm trying to maintain that 7 kilowatts. If I would let it go all the way up to 11, then my panels would have to put out 11 plus the house. And
it may not happen.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
Right.
And so what's going to wind up happening, you're going to wind up pulling grid power. Or
Now you're being charged by total
batteries.
power. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Or pulling from your batteries,
Right.
one or the other. So I set it down low just so I can maintain the house and charge the car. So quite literally, folks, my cars really do run on sunshine and rainbows. Yeah, all 3 of them.
Wow. So basically you're saying you pay nothing because between your solar panels and your batteries, you pretty much, the solar panels are bringing enough power in to charge all 3 of these vehicles. And
I charge 1 vehicle at a time.
oh, you charge 1 vehicle at a time?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because if I was doing 2 vehicles, that'd be a 14 kilowatt draw.
Okay, you want it down to 7.
I want it down to 7, or lower sometimes. It depends. You can dial it down, but it takes way too long.
Okay.
I found that 7 kilowatt is a pretty good mix.
Balance.
It's a good balance.
Okay.
So I may charge 1 in the morning, and then I may charge another one in the afternoon, and then I have a 3rd vehicle, so I'll do that one the next day.
Okay.
So yeah, I can charge them up to 80%, and it works.
Wow.
If I become really desperate, I can do the super off-peak charge like most folks out there actually do. I could do that. Yeah, I don't pay for my cars to be charged anymore. And that's why I paid so much to have a 15 kilowatt system plus all the batteries, because not only did it help out with the home, it helped out with charging the vehicle. So I make sure I charge my cars when it's nice and sunny outside. I don't have to pay for gas. I don't have to pay for any electricity with them. That's not to say I don't have an electric bill, however. I still do have a little bit of an electric bill. And just to show you guys what I'm talking about, to give you an example, my electric bill just prior to getting the solar panels for the month of July, I'm sorry, my bad, for the month of June, my bill was $588, which is significantly higher than what I had last year. I think my bill last year was somewhere in the 400 neighborhood, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Okay. So wait a minute. So last year you was in the 400s. This last June you were at 588.
Correct.
Almost 600.
Correct.
Okay.
And a lot of that was due to the cars.
Okay.
That plus Georgia Power has been going up on their rates over the last few years. Sorry, everybody else. I know we keep hammering Georgia Power here. A lot's been happening at Georgia Power as of late.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the things they did do was freeze their base plan rates for the next 3 years. However, that does not mean that your bill is not going up. Because what they did not freeze were all the little surcharges and the fuel charges and all of those little things.
I think the Biden administration calls them junk fees.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't stop those. So you can expect to see your power bill to continue to go up. Side note, the solar panels are a hedge against the inflation and the rise in electricity rates. Because let's face it, one of the reasons why Georgia Power did what they did, and one of the reasons they've been on this kick, is because of the data centers that are coming to the U.S. In case you guys are unaware, if you've not watched the channel, you may be unaware of the AI systems that are coming online. And we've been trying to cover that a little bit and talk a little bit more about it lately. Yeah. But these AI systems need these large data centers, and these data centers are power hungry,
right.
Really power hungry.
Right.
And so they're prepping the grid for all of those data centers to start coming into Georgia. I think they just announced another one here recently. Because of that, they need to find the power from someplace. And that needs to be funded from someplace.
They're going to be funded from you.
Yes.
Unless you have solar panels and batteries.
Correct. Now, having said that, for the folks here in Georgia, this is brand spanking new. This is in their 2025 Integrated Resource Plan. Basically lays out the plan for Georgia Power for the next 3 years. And in this plan, they made a provision for what's known as virtual power plants. Okay? Virtual power plants are a creation due to the battery storage systems that they now have here in the U.S. And effectively what they are, they allow you to store the power in your batteries at home as you would normally. However, it allows the power company to tap those batteries and utilize those as, well, a virtual power plant. Instead of the power plant being powered by coal or even water or hydroelectricity, you have the power plants are now battery storage. So now imagine all the people with battery storage all around the state and how much power is stored in those batteries. Imagine if the power company could tap those batteries and be able to draw down on those batteries to supplement the grid during times of peak usage.
I mean, as long as they're paying me for it, yeah.
Well, that's just it. So they had to come up with a scheme to actually pay you to utilize those batteries. And that's why they've instituted these virtual power plant programs around the country. Several states have instituted these programs, and they can become quite lucrative. So for instance, in the case of Georgia, now I will caution you, what I'm getting ready to tell you is in the 2025 Integrated Resource Plan. However, it has not been implemented as of yet. As of today, it has not been implemented.
Wow.
We're still waiting.
Okay.
Remember that 10 kilowatt limit I told you about earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah. They want the power from the batteries. Okay. If you happen to have battery storage, the actual name of this program is the Georgia Power Battery Plus Storage Program. That's what that program is actually called. You can go and look it up online if you wish. You won't find much information on it, but you can at least keep track of it.
Right. It's much like your power bill. You have no idea. They keep it in the dark.
Exactly. I've been trying, ever since the program was approved, I've been trying to keep up on the program. I'm sorry, ever since the Integrated Resource Program was approved a couple of months ago, I've been trying to keep up on the program to see if there have been any additions. Georgia Power or anybody from the Public Service Commission, if you care to come on the show and talk to us about it, we'll be more than happy to have you. We'd love to have more information on this. I'm sure the people will be overjoyed to actually understand this great program that you have.
Oh yeah, and I'll be bringing my bill. We can talk about that too. With my personal bill, we need to talk about my bill and how it's almost doubled.
Wow.
Yeah. Before I went to the EV plan, of course.
With the battery storage program, they have two different types of programs you can go under. You can go under the power company managed program, or you can do the essentially self-directed program. Under the self-directed program, they give you a nominal upfront fee for the battery usage. It's really small. I can't remember exactly what it is. I love to quote it off the top of my head. But then they pay you when they pull down on the power. The difference is, remember I told you you pay about 18 cents per kilowatt hour in the off-peak period.
Right.
For your battery usage, they will pay you $1.50 per kilowatt hour.
How do they make money?
It's not about making money, it's about having grid stability. What normally happens when the hours of between 2 and 7 p.m. rolls around is that people start drawing down on the power with their air conditioning, with their stoves and all of other dishwasher, all of these things. You routinely produce power through the grid and all of that. However, during these points where they have a surge in demand, they have what's known as peaker plants. Peaker plants are plants that they can fire up on a moment's notice to compensate for that extra surge in demand.
Right.
And typically, a lot of these plants are natural gas powered plants. In fact, they're installing a few more of them. They got these companies that make them, that make these natural gas plants. They put them online, and so they can handle the surge. So they pay a lot of money to have that capability. So $1.50 per kilowatt hour may actually be kind of cheap compared to what they normally pay to have that capability. But once again, this program is not online as of yet. It will be online. So this is when you do the self-directed one. When you say, okay, I'll let you have it whenever. Big fish. He warned you guys earlier. We're outside.
Yeah, we are outside. So, did you hear that fish splash? We're in nature. We're in a natural habitat. This is actually like, what do you call it? Not organic. We're having an eco-friendly podcast.
Yeah, this is an eco-friendly podcast.
Yeah.
That's why we selected this setting just for this.
Yeah. It's like we're getting sunlight. You see, this is all powered by electricity, not solar panels, but we're getting there.
When they put some solar panels out here, I'll be sure to use that.
Yeah.
Under the self-directed program, you're allowed to participate in the program whenever you want. You can basically say, okay, they'll request the power, and if you participate in it, say, okay, you can use the power, they'll pay you $1.50 per kilowatt hour. Under the company-directed program, they get full control of your batteries. You get no say-so over when the power goes in and out. You still have access to your batteries. They'll save you they will save you a reserve charge of 20%, just in case you black out.
Right.
But they have full control over your batteries. However, they compensate you, I want to say it's $750 per kilowatt storage.
Per kilowatt?
Correct. So if the battery is 13.5 kilowatt, and they're willing to pay you $750 per kilowatt, you're going to get paid about $10,000, $8,000 for that battery, okay? Which almost covers the cost of the battery. It's supposed to be 2/3 of the cost, but they're not counting installation and all of that, and it's probably that short. So with a 40 kilowatt system, I am looking at some very hefty returns on that. But you gotta remember, that's a one-time payment.
Right.
You're not like selling power back to the grid at that point.
Instead, you are just letting them borrow your batteries indefinitely.
I believe it's either a 10 or 15-year contract.
I mean, that's a long time.
It's a long time.
Yeah, by 10 or 15 years, they're going to be better batteries at cheaper rates.
Correct. So that's what the program is. That's what's in the 2025 Integrated Resource Plan. I know California and a few other states around the nation already have a program similar to this in place. Not all batteries are compatible. Check with your manufacturer to make sure that your batteries are compatible with the system and that you can actually utilize it. It's an actual, it's a real benefit, I think. But as a byproduct of this program, they let you have up to a 25 kilowatt system. Solar panel system.
Yeah.
And so you no longer have the 10 kilowatt, but only if you do the battery plus storage program.
Right, in the first place.
This is a Georgia Power thing. This is not a nationwide thing. Although others throughout the nation could have like this, but this is definitely Georgia Power. Be sure to check with your power company to make sure of what the rules are prior to installation. Now, having said all of that, what I have discovered, even with my 15 kilowatt system, is that I don't really send much power back to the grid. I have excess power, but I've noticed that I've just put it into my cars. So it goes into my batteries. And let me put this into context for you. I have 40 kilowatt hour batteries installed in the home. My Model Y has an 82.5 kilowatt hour battery.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The Cybertruck has a 123 kilowatt hour battery.
Right.
So, yeah, I've got my own battery storage, but at a certain point, I've got a lot more batteries to fill.
Right. They're larger batteries than, what your battery, yeah.
Correct. So if you have an EV, you're better off putting your you're better off putting your electricity into the battery rather than trying to sell it back to the grid and hoping to get a paycheck from the power company.
Right.
That's my own personal feeling on that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
at least for now.
At least for now.
Right.
That's kind of where I've been with it. So if you have EVs, solar panels plus batteries makes perfect sense. It really helps out. It really lowers your bill. And I think it is quite the boon for you. And you can actually save yourself a lot of money in the long run. Well, okay, let's talk about the long run for a minute.
Yeah, because the pricing sounds pretty high. I mean, I guess if you have a $500,000 home, $60K is worth investing for this solar panel system. If you have a $90,000 home, which I don't know if there one exists here in America anymore, but if you do have a $90,000 home, is it really worth putting $50,000, $60,000 into a solar panels plus battery system? It's
a personal choice. What research has shown is that when you add solar panels, it adds about 4% to the value of the home at least, and the homes tend to sell about 20% faster when you add solar panels. And you can sell the solar panels and the mortgage to the next person. Keep that in mind. So you can charge them and pay off the panels and all that. Now they're stuck with the bill. So don't think you're stuck with them for life. But it is a significant upfront investment, realizing there's a possibility you may not recoup that if the market goes south or something else should happen. Now, yes, I have a $60,000 system installed in my home. If it was $65,000 right now, honestly, I don't think I would break even in 20 years. It would be real close, minus the EVs. I'm not including the EVs in that. I'm talking straight normal usage. Mm-hmm. EVs, honestly, I've not done the calculations, but I'm pretty confident they're lowering that number significantly. What I have the advantage of right now is the tax credit that we still have. If you don't know, there's a 30% tax credit for all solar installs, including the batteries as well. So in my case, my system costs $60,000. I take advantage of the 30% tax credit. It now gets chopped by $18,000. And so now I'm actually looking at about a $42,000 bill at the end of the day.
Right.
That tax credit goes away December 31st, 2025.
And for those of you who voted for Trump, half the day you voted for once again. The credit's going away. You got to hurry up if you want this EV credit.
December 31st, 2025, the tax credit goes away. So what that means is that you must have your system not only installed, but it must also be producing power prior to that date.
Yes.
That doesn't mean the whole process is complete. That just means it must be producing power. Now, what does it take to get there? I'm going to tell you right now, any solar panel system and battery system that you want installed today, you budget at least 60 to 90 days for install and activation, because it's going to take that long just to have them come out, survey your home. They're going to come out, have the city come out, take a look at it. Then they got to start an installation process, schedule installation. Have that done, then the city's going to come out and inspect again. They got to get the permits. By the time this is all done, you're looking at least 2 to 3 months, and possibly longer if you have any other hangups. Mm-hmm. And we're currently at the beginning of September right now, so you have 4 months. Jump on it.
Jump on it, because you know what? It is worth every penny. If you have the money to invest. Are there what do you call it? Financing?
Yes, there are. Mm-hmm. In fact, I'm glad you brought that up. They have what's known as solar mortgage companies. Now, my advice to you, this is me personally, and I know somebody's going to jump in the comments when I say this. Avoid them. Avoid them, okay? Go out and get your own financing. And this is one of the reasons why people are very wary about getting solar panels. It's because they've been approached by so many people on the street. Hey, you want to buy solar? Hey, you want to buy solar? You want to buy solar? It feels gimmicky. It feels like he's getting ready to take me to the bank. Mm-hmm. And well, that's because they are. That's what they're doing. And here's how they're doing it. The solar panels themselves are not bad. The batteries themselves are not bad. The financing industry that goes behind the solar panels and all that, rotten to the core. Mm. That's just what they do. Because let's just say I wanted to get solar panels today. I can go out and approach a solar panel company. If I have the wherewithal to contact them and I know what I'm doing, say, hey, I want you guys to install this. And I could come out of pocket and pay them and have them install it. Not too bad, right? Most of these people that are approaching you on the street or trying to hand out flyers, they are mostly financing arms, and they get their solar panel contractors together to install, to buy and put them on your home. Now, that is a legit process. Okay. Don't misunderstand that. That's a very legit process.
Okay.
But the problem is that once the panels are installed, everybody's got to get paid. That contractor will get paid, okay?
Right.
He's going to charge his fees. The financier who put all this stuff together, number one, they got you on the mortgage and they got you on the financing, and who knows at what rate they got you at.
Right.
But more importantly, they charge other fees that they pass along to the contractor, because it's kind of like a finder's fee. truth be told, it's kind of like a finder's fee to say, hey, we found this customer, we're bringing them to you guys. And those fees can be hefty. I mean, we're talking $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 sometimes.
Wow.
That they're adding in there that the contractor will then add into their price. So you never see the fee. And so now the solar mortgage guy is now financing the fee that he put on the contractor that's now gone to you.
Wow. Wow.
All legit. It's all legal.
Yeah, it's all above board, but just more money out of your pocket.
Exactly.
ultimately.
You're spending a lot more money than what you need to spend, and that's the issue. Very few companies actually don't operate like this. I don't want to name too many names, but one of them I will name. Tesla does not operate that way. I can tell you that for certain. It's direct to the consumer. They do all of the installation themselves. It's one-stop shopping. They don't have the fees that you have involved. If you don't believe me, go try to shop around for some of these solar panels. Try to get the exact kilowatt size and battery size and come up with the price difference and have Tesla give you a quote as well. I promise you, you're going to see some very interesting numbers, and you're going to wonder where all these extra costs coming from. That's where they're coming from, just so that you know. Unless you're able to go direct to the source and have them directly install it, in which case you'll be okay.
Right, right.
Financing is a very sticky subject. You can also go to your bank and get the solar panels financed. Has it been worth it? For me, for some people, it's going to be worth it. If you want to do a dollar cents comparison, breaking even could be anywhere between 6 and 10 years. For myself, because I have such a large system involved, that break-even point is somewhere between 10 and 15 years, somewhere in that neighborhood. It all depends on the amount of power you use in any given month. More power you use, the shorter that time frame is going to be.
Okay.
That aside, do I feel as though I've gotten my money's worth with these solar panels? Honestly, here's where I'm at right now. I could care less whether or not I break even.
Okay.
I can care less whether or not I break even at 15, 20 years. I thought I was going to care. I spent months researching this just to figure out if I was going to break even or not. That's how strongly I felt about it at that time. Now, I don't care. I really don't. In fact, I'm having 5 more kilowatt panels put in, and I'm getting another 40 kilowatts of batteries put in, because I love the freedom of saying I'm done with Georgia Power.
Personal satisfaction.
No, I don't mean that Georgia Power specific. I'm sorry. I have the capability of being on my own, and I don't need anybody else to give me power. That's the freedom that I want. And that freedom is actually worth the price, in my opinion. So there are a lot of people that will go with you on the dollars and the cents and argue whether or not it's actually worth it. To me, it's worth it just to have the freedom. And if the power actually happens to go out, and it does happen here in Atlanta on an all too often basis, I am completely island. I don't have to rely on anybody. I'm still going to have my air conditioning. I'm still going to be able to charge my cars. I'm still going to be able to do all of this stuff.
Well, you know what I like about it, to be honest?
What's that?
If there were to be an apocalypse, a zombie apocalypse, a civil war, given our political climate, anything like that, you would be okay.
True.
You'd be the entire power could go out, and until somebody comes and tries to maybe steal your batteries or something like that, you would be okay.
How many movies have we seen them make those makeshift batteries?
Right.
For me, it's worth it, and I don't mind it, so I don't really care if I break even. For some people, it's all about counting the peanuts. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I will do my best to answer them. Got anything, Tone?
Well, I think that this has been very informational. Don't ask me any questions, because frankly, the only thing I'm going to tell you is that Georgia Power is probably cheating you, and you just got to force them to give you your kilowatt hours. But I still like Georgia Power. Please don't shut me off. Don't sue me for defamation. You guys are okay with me. As a matter of fact, I love you guys. I love the colors. The company in the triangle logo, I love it. Beautiful. That's my comment.
He lives at 0 numbers.
Yo, bro. Cut.
So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Put any comments you have below and down in the comments. Don't forget to hype it. Hype. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Yes.
Till next time.
Beast.